actually a distinct honor and pleasure to introduce our speakers this morning. Actually, I thought it was just going to be one speaker this morning, and as it turns out, it's going to be two speakers. But I'm thrilled. I kind of forced the issue on this program because of the events that's happening to us with the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. I think we all need, as leaders of our community, we all need to know the latest and the greatest on what's happening. Now, I'm in the vacation rental business, and Jeannie's got a small little company that's in the same business as well. Similar. And we're constantly getting telephone calls, very nervous guests wanting to know whether or not they should come down here with all the oil on our beaches, that sort of thing. I think it's very important for us to clearly understand the threat that we're up against and the real facts about what's going on up there. Our speaker this morning is Greg Casella and Sam Sievers, the city manager and the mayor. What's really kind of unique about these two speakers is that they were both voted the best city manager of the state of Florida for the Florida League of Cities and the best city council person when Sam was a council person prior to being elected as our mayor. One of the things that I noticed when I first moved to this area, the quality of management that we have in this city, I don't know if we all appreciate. I mean, I've been affiliated and involved with a number of cities. The quality of management in this city, as far as I'm concerned, is probably second to none. I don't care how large or small our city is, the quality of management in this city is critically important in our future. This oil spill may have a very distinct impact on our future. I think what Mr. Casella and Ms. Sievers have to tell us this morning about the plans that they've established for protecting our shores against this oil spill, I think is profound. And with that, I'd like to introduce Greg Casella and Sam Sievers.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Everybody knows we had an oil spill around, I think the 20th of April. And I have to say, you've probably seen the commercials on TV when they say, what is your aha moment? I can remember calling Greg Casella at 8 o'clock in the morning and Greg and I talking on April 23rd. And it wasn't an aha moment, it was a
oh shit.
Thank you. So since that time, there's been a lot of plans in place, and that very next week we went into full mode because this is something that obviously we had never dealt with before. Hurricanes, yeah, that's, we've been there, done that a zillion times, but this was, something that we hadn't embarked upon before. The governor, he declared the state of emergency on April 30th, which put the Emergency Operations Center in full-fledged action. And things that, of course, we worried about: impact to our natural resources, damages to our beaches, sinking our fishing heritage, destroying the Gulf seafood industry. I caught about half of those, by the way. Injuring our wildlife, and I have to tell you this quickly. The local Emerald Coast Wildlife, as of last Friday, they got 4,387 calls for volunteers. So that says a whole lot for our community and what we do, in times of crisis. And devastating our tourism. Cost loss of wages and shelter. And those are some of the things that Greg and I were talking about, and this is what we're going to have to deal with. And I'm going to turn it over to him. That left little thing right there.
This is where we think the oil spill will be over the next 72 hours. It continues to move around out in the Gulf of Mexico, which is of concern. We saw some reports this morning that they actually saw some tar balls potentially some tar balls down in the Key West area, which is a concern from the standpoint of impact on the environment. This is a map that we've been watching very closely. The red line is the area that has been closed to fishing, and that continues to move to the east. And more areas that the Destin fleet fishes out has been restricted and or closed. So we're very concerned about that. Sam's going to talk about what we've been doing with the state and the federal standpoint.
Immediately, we went into action, of course, and when you activate an emergency operations center, that means the city is not in control. That means the county is in control. So one of the first things Greg and I put a plan in action was, what are the things that we can do? The one thing is to go after our state and federal legislators and ask them to help us. One of the first things we did is to ask Bill Nelson to remove the $75 million cap, and him, as well as several other legislators in Washington, D.C., have now put forth some legislation to raise that cap to $10 billion, which some of the estimates are even more, up to $14 billion for damages right now. So that was one of the first things. Additional tourism marketing dollars for the local TDCs along the Northwest Florida coast. This is right here on Mother's Day. That is the governor coming along with Senator Darrell Peden and Representative Greg Evers. And they came down on a Sunday afternoon. I think Bruce Craw was there as well. And we didn't have to tell them everything we need, because there was a crowd of people up there, including some of our fishermen, saying, hey, we need tourism dollars, we need a lot of different things. He listened. That following Monday morning, he filed he had requested from BP $34.5 million for marketing campaigns for our area. That was the biggest thing. If we got anything out of it, it was a lot of publicity showing him out there fishing, which the man cannot fish. I'm sorry. But he had a pole in his hand, and the water was beautiful, and nationally we got the word out that we are open for business and fishing is open, so it was really a great thing. The next thing, we requested an extension to the federal red snapper season, and hold on, let me go back to one thing about the tourism. Bruce had actually done, I guess he had called a meeting and brought Visit Florida down to the area. And as of yesterday, BP had allocated an additional $25 million for advertising dollars. And I'm going to tell you, I need you folks to lean heavily. Yeah, sure. I'm talking the Jeannie Dailies, the Rick Scallies, and the Bruces of the world to make sure Northwest Florida gets those dollars as much as possible. Because I did not have a comfort level when we left that meeting that was, I felt like they were going to advertise Florida as a whole. Northwest Florida is definitely going to be impacted, so you guys take please take the lead in that, because you have the voice, and I would appreciate that, so thank you for that. One of the other things, our TDC, we have a new TDC director from Walton County, Mark Bettinger. He started last Thursday filling out his paperwork. By Friday morning, he had sent an email blast to 85,000 guests, repeat customers that had come to Florida, saying, we need you to be here. Poor guy, disinitiation by fire. I wonder what that's like. But anyway, he came in, and he's got a lot of other efforts, email blasts, public relations efforts in Atlanta, Birmingham, Houston, Lexington. Anticipate implementing a $500,000 emergency marketing plan. The Okaloosa County TDC is going to meet tomorrow in an emergency meeting at 1 o'clock at the Emerald Coast Conference Center to discuss spending that $500,000. Now, I'm only talking about that, but I can tell you right now, I know efforts, and I'm going to bring up Rick Scally, the Chamber of Commerce, Shane, a lot of folks in this room, you did your own things. You put your email blast out, you put it up on your websites, and that grassroots effort is what's going to help get our market back. So everybody needs to continue doing that. And also try to get to that TDC meeting, because that will be very, very helpful. Going back to the red snapper issue, what we had asked for was that they open the red snapper season early. It starts on June 1st. There was some confusion as to, and I won't even go there, but there's a little confusion with that, and now our legislators are trying to get the red snapper season open 2 weeks on the end